packet? Anybody? No neck out there?
I'll make the motion.
All right, Larry made the motion. Anybody gonna second that motion?
I think Mary had to get an FBI background
Okay.
check to get that program.
Mike second the motion. All those in favor of accepting the quarterly investment report, signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, same sign. Okay, Mary, you got your quarterly investment report. The next item is the finance report. We went over that with Mr. Pena, didn't we? Pretty well. Okay, and we can review that. You've got a copy of your book too. Okay, very good. I think it's Rose's turn, and she's
We
beat
need a
to the
motion
punch.
for that, Mary? We need a motion for the auditors, or?
We already did. Oh, for the.
I think we're gonna delay one month so that everybody can get
Yeah, let everybody look at it, then we can.
we'll get a final report.
Okay.
We won't have to come back.
Yeah, just let everybody look at it.
Okay.
Okay, she find any typos.
Here's, I found some.
All right, Rose,
Good morning.
good morning. Oh, you're gonna have to do like Mary, right up here.
How's that?
Yeah,
Good?
Good.
Good morning.
good morning.
Let's start off with our tax adjustments. We've got quite a few.
Lot of adjustments.
Yes, sir. Is there any questions on the adjustments?
No? Anybody have any questions on the adjustments? I just noticed there were a lot of them.
Yes, sir. These are properties that are known as trustee accounts, properties that we try to collect taxes. And we weren't able to, so we try, ourselves, we try to collect taxes and then turn over to the attorneys. We file suit. We try to sell the property, and if we cannot sell it, it becomes a trustee account. So the property becomes ours, or any entity that's involved in the tax suit. So what has happened is that the tax stops from accruing, but what's going on was the penalty and interest was accruing. So this is what we're accruing. That's the penalty and interest.
It's penalty interest, and so that's what we are forgiving in this case
Yes,
too.
yes.
Right.
There are a few, after I looked at the deeds, where the property, let's say, was struck off in March, let's say, for example, 2023, so they're actually liable for 3 months of the year 2023. So
Okay.
there's some adjustments there.
So we got positive numbers right there.
Yes, sir.
But there's a lot more of those in brackets than there are those.
Yes.
Okay, so the overall adjustments was a net adjustment of $14,1971, I believe, is that correct?
Yes, sir. $1,419.71.
Okay, Chair will entertain a motion to accept those adjustments.
I'm going to accept the adjustments.
George made the motion, Larry second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, same sign. Okay.
Our next report for information, this is the City of El Paso on behalf of Public Service Board assignments, Lower Valley Water District assignments, and tax suits.
The tax suit's gone, that's good.
Yes, sir. And just for information, this is not money that we collected just now, money that we have collected, but ones that say the fees, the court fees, court mandated fees for processing, for citing, everything has been paid. Then we're not sued or released.
Okay, that's good. Well, I thought Lower Valley was catching fire last month and then what, big old zero this month.
I know they're working on some subdivisions, at least two.
Okay.
I know they're working on those.
Good, good.
Any more questions? Nope. Our next report is a comparison between 2021 tax assessment and 2022. 2021, we were at 94.7715 versus we are at 94.7371%.
Pretty close. The word's getting out, we're gonna have some water here later.
Yes, sir, I think so.
Should bring in the money.
And that's all I have.
Thank you, Bill. Appreciate it. Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next item is J, General Manager's Report.
All right, I don't have too many items on there this morning. We are meeting tomorrow, myself and EPCWID and a few other people with the Commissioner of International Laundry and Water Commission, Ms. Gannett. So yeah, we've got that meeting scheduled tomorrow at 9:30. I've not met her, so looking forward to that, discuss upcoming season.
What's her name?
Ms. Gannett, Geiner. Samantha, help me out, how are you? Samantha's a hydrologist for IBWC back here.
Oh, okay.
It's
Welcome.
Ine.
Gannett, okay. Gannett, Giner. Thank you.
Ned, right? Is
Yes.
that what you said? Samantha, right?
Samantha Sticker, yes. Giner, yes, so we're meeting tomorrow, EBID and myself and a couple of internal people for IWC. So I will let you know how that goes. I'm looking forward to it.
Does EPID still have just an interim manager?
Yes, as far as I know, they haven't sent anything out, and it'll be Samantha attending. And I guess Dr. King is,
Still.
they're co-managers as of right now, so. But yes, Sam will be a.
Co-manager. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So, yes, that's pretty much it, so I'll let y'all know next month, how that goes.
Okay. Very good. All right. District Engineers Report.
If I could move my item number D up, so
Okay.
David can get them back.
I've got David. David's right here. Here.
Gonna do that one real quick, if that's okay with you guys.
Sure.
She dropped it and didn't pick it back up.
All right, David, you might not need to put that mic right in your mouth like the two ladies.
My voice kind of carries, so
Okay.
it will be all right.
Oh, you see our new cranes back here?
I didn't see those in there.
They're
I
right.
didn't see those.
I'm impressed.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so here we go. This is, good morning, first of all.
Good
everyone.
morning.
This is license 3149A. This is the south side lateral at Route 375. So this section of the south side will be placed underground. So you can see this was prior to the beginning of excavation in the area. So it was in need of a little TLC. So at this point, yeah, we'll be placing 36-inch pipe there from 375 headed downstream.
For how long?
Approximately 483 feet of it is.
And is that because of what?
El Paso Water is actually wanting to utilize this to bypass all the traffic along Pan American.
It's gonna become a restricted drive. That road's gonna be converted from public to
Oh, it is.
El Paso Water. It'll be a city restrict,
Okay.
it'll have a guard booth.
So this is right south, pretty close, you said it where?
Just downstream from Loop 375, right by the side.
Yeah, those cranes are for the loop.
Yeah, that's right. Look where we're in the background.
You got everybody excited.
They're text
Yeah. We're moving beams for the canal.
It's wishful thinking.
So yeah, here's a portion of the pipe as they were placing it, so yeah, as they continued downstream. Let's see, and then there's right there, we had an old bridge and an old check structure that was removed to make room for this. There it is, there we go, there's the bridge structure that was removed. Let's see, there we go. And the section has it 45-degree, continue downstream. And then the finished product, once they got done with the compaction and everything. And then this is gonna be a portion of 200 feet of concrete liner that's gonna follow below that pipe as well, so. That should be
So you're
poured
gonna-
here, I'm hoping we'll have a pour by Friday.
Huh.
First
Okay.
pour, so.
That rib PVC, is that a special PVC or?
Yeah, it's an irrigation pipe, low pressure, 20 PSI.
It's only ribbed on the outside, the inside is smooth, right?
Correct. Correct.
It's really two pipes, it's made as two pipes and welded together.
There we go, this is license 3181, over the Riverside Canal going into the Bustamante treatment plant. Let's see, so as work continued there, I'll ask.
For us or for the city of El Paso?
This is gonna be for El Paso Water.
Is that including the dish you just showed me in the two previous slides?
This is a separate project. Yes.
That one is paid by the PSB as well?
That one, yes, I believe that.
Yeah. This bridge will handle, I think 6 simultaneous cement trucks, right?
Yes, and some.
It's,
It's,
Yeah, so this is
It
gonna be for
looks
that
like
expansion
it's
of
a
the
preload.
waste treatment plant.
That looks like it, yeah.
I don't know what it is, but it's a stout bridge.
Yeah, that's gonna be very stout. Unless it's Chinese rebar.
It's all American.
American made.
It's a
American made.
requisite, yeah, all American
That's
made.
rough.
Okay, here we go. This is license 3340 over here on the 1D main, near the tail end where it spills into the Isla. This is gonna be right around that North Moon Road and, Old Hueco Tanks Road and North Loop area. Another road for the city of El Paso as well. So
Yeah,
this
through the
portion
Burroughs
of the
Farm
main,
there,
yes.
yeah.
So that'll
Where
be
the
placed
old
underground. RCB has, as you can tell, RCB has been placed.
That's David's on the phone, or Louis. Can't believe we're close there.
And underneath there, they also set their water and sewer mains underground below our property, so that's where those RCPs were set on top of that. And also on that one, I'm expecting head walls to be poured hopefully by, first head wall will be poured by next week. So we should have this functional here within the next 2 weeks or so.
Not working?
Somewhere fixed. There we go.
Oh, what's
Oh,
going
that
on?
went back.
There we go. I guess that's the end.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, that's the end of that. So.
Okay.
There we go, but yeah, no, it's been a fun month so far, so everything going on at the same time, but yeah, it's keeping me busy, but
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
That's good.
Good deal. That's
That's
all I got
good,
for
Dave.
y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it. Thank you. All right. Now, you got anything you want to do before we move on?
Well, we got all the rest of the, made an allocation today.
Okay.
Everything else, everybody see the last, and then we had a special meeting, Art, you weren't at that meeting,
Yeah.
but, we didn't discuss anything, but, confirmed that I think everybody got the snow report from last time.
Yeah, I did.
Special report.
Well,
I can go back over that with you again, but if you guys all have that, it was sent out.
Yeah.
We talked about it at the last meeting.
You're talking about Ian's report?
Yeah, Dr. McDonald. So, everybody's not smiling. What's the deal? You got a report like that, you should smile.
I just wish I was here a little earlier.
I'm doing it, so I'm gonna
My
skip.
wells are all running right now.
Okay, I will skip all the analysis and science and everything and times, so we have record, approaching record snowfall for at least the last 36 years. Let me go ahead and share this screen with you.
Yeah, you might as well show us again.
Oh, I'm gonna go straight to the part that you guys like.
Okay. Well, that's good.
If I can get David's down.
I think he just moved on.
Yeah, I've got to bring Zoom up, sorry. All right, so this is our alley. You haven't seen this for a year, right? Since last year. So we start off, the allocation committee made an allocation yesterday. It's 135,962.
For us or for total?
That's for us, that's ours.
Okay.
There's a little, EPID got a little bit more, and Mexico's about 26,000. That's just that we went in and did it. I talked to Robert. We wanted to be able to get started since we're looking at possibly releasing recommended release date of May 12th. That's 2 weeks earlier than we discussed before that we need to talk about today. That will be 165 to 200 by next month. Probably at least 165. If the heat continues, we're seeing the runoff, the melt has started, and we're seeing it in Colorado. It's making its way through New Mexico as we speak, starting in northern New Mexico. By July 1st, that'll be 230. And by the end of the season, well, our total allocation for this year will be about 400.
Hallelujah.
That won't be for this, that'll be our combined with what we saved from last year plus this year.
Okay.
There's a unusual high degree of certainty in that data, higher than we've had. That's what that report said last week, was that we had crossed certain thresholds for which it puts us at a high degree of confidence. Of course, we can't allocate that water, we'll allocate it as it comes in, so we envision doing, I'll work with Robert, but we can, today, the recommendation is go to 2.5 acre feet per acre. And put a little extra acreage in for cotton. We think we have a little more cotton this year. Do you know, Robert? We won't really know those numbers for a while, but
We do have,
a little bit more, stronger this year than last year.
right,
Yeah. So I have those numbers. We're still able to make 2.5. We may skip next month's allocation and just wait till we got 4, because we may go to 4 pretty fast. And
Okay.
2.5 is going to get you to July, right?
it'll get to July.
Yeah, so we won't need it, but we probably, rather than just, have to dole it out in 1/6 inch or whatever, we just do this one and then do one in a couple of months.
Do 2.5 to start.
We do 2.5 to start. That's,
Yeah.
Last month I told you, I thought we could only do 2,
Right.
but it's been strong on just what's been coming in. This does rely on all of our effluent and everything else, but as we get reservoir water, we'll replace that well water and not run the wells. I mean, it's just, can we make this right now if we had to? If this was our last item, we can. But we will, we do this all, in previous years too. So the numbers are all in there. We reserved water to run the last 2 weeks, just with us on the river. So there's when that yellow's highlighted, there's 7,000 acre feet reserved for river losses at the end if we're the only ones on the river. Like you guys know, we have to do that. And it balances out. So my recommendation is going to be for irrigable land allocation is going to be at this time 2.5 with anticipated updates throughout the summer.
All right. Is there any indication of EPCWID coming on? Are they going to do the same thing?
So as far as the release date, you usually don't pass a resolution on the release date. You just give us instructions. At least I can't remember a resolution ever. The situation we're in now that we negotiated is that they're meeting at the same time we are. There seems to be an indication they'd like to release on the 12th also, start the release on the 12th for their Mesilla Valley. And if that's true, then we'll come on. We haven't got any confirmation from Mexico, unless Samantha has an update, but probably not. We talked about that yesterday with Reclamation. They'll be meeting next week, a week from today? So they'll probably know more then. So we don't know if Mexico's coming on the 12th. But what I recommend is you give us instructions that if EPCWID does recommend coming on to the Mesilla Valley on the 12th, that we go and come on at the same time. I think that's conditioned. We're both conditioned on each other, so they want to make sure we come on the 12th, and we want to make sure they come on the 12th. If that's acceptable. I think that's acceptable to Robert, right? I mean, there's no issue there. It's the way we normally do it. They also, Dr. King indicated that he's a general manager, acting general manager for operations. He recommended that they would probably go on the Rincon Valley if we do that on the 1st, under the assumption that we would not go on the 1st. I don't see any way we can go on the 1st. Pete absolutely doesn't see any way, right? And so we don't have any desire to come on the 1st. We've talked to some of the farmers and other people, and at least I have, and I talked to Bobby Scove a little bit, and I think Robert, you've talked around, and maybe Jay too, and we don't, there isn't a big demand. The 12th is, you know, we won't get the water here until around the 18th, but that's acceptable, and get off the salty return flow and get on fresh water. So if that's okay with you guys, I just need a resolution saying that we're gonna make the allocation to the, for the irrigable land at 2.5 acre feet per acre. And then we have another allocation we have to do after that. And we'll try to release on the 12th.
All right.
EPCWID releases on the 12th.
All right, so what you need is a motion approving that allocation, and, but we don't necessarily approve the release date until we,
You're giving us instruction.
Give me
I'd like to say you guys normally have done a resolution to release it. Because, you know, something could happen between now and then, we had to change it a day or two.
Right.
Do you remember ever doing a resolution or release date, Robert?
No, they just
We
agreed
gave you
that
permission to-
we're gonna officially make the release on the third day.
Yeah, we're gonna try to, yeah, we're super,
Yeah.
if EBID agrees to it.
in other words, you've got permission, go ahead and do it. And if you make a mistake, we got nooses around here, so.
Yeah, it's all our fault.
Okay.
We'll know by the end of the day, and we'll put it out in, if we confirm it, we'll put it out in the newsletter, or whatever Kathy does,
Kathy puts
the
it.
email. So, and everybody understanding, that's a release date, not the delivery date.
Right, right. Okay, well, that
Is that all right?
sounds,
Any questions, or?
I'm giddy, actually. Ken.
Yeah, it's like, why, it's
I'm
good.
giddy, so is Larry, Larry's a little
Yeah,
giddy,
it's
so.
like we're,
Who wants to make that motion?
So we're bumping it back 2 weeks, basically.
Right.
From what we
Instead of
originally thought.
June.
And it's, I saw 6 flat raters, right?
that's for the 2.5.
Hmm?
That's the
That's
number for
it?
2.5 right now. We'll visit this every month.
Yeah.
I think when we go to 4 acre feet with the time available, it would probably be 9, right, Robert?
And you can make them 10 if you really want to.
If there's a demand.
But right now, we're at 6.
Yeah, right now we're at 6, which gets us, that's what we're talking, this 2.5 feet and 6 is gonna get us to July. So we'll probably, our next allocation
They'll
will
probably
be.
up it, George, is what they're
So we
saying.
can adjust
They
it as
said
we
that
go.
from last time.
Yeah, we always do, yeah.
Okay.
And this year, you'll, all indication is you'll have significant water every month, new water. We can't allocate that water now. The snow report said that all probabilities we'll go to 4 feet. We don't know if that'll be July 1st or that'll be August 1st, but it'll be in that time range. And we'll probably wait to the allocation, the next allocation till that point. And you'll have plenty of small, at 6 and 2.5, you'll have plenty of water to get people to that.
But what it boils down to, you're gonna be watering every 2 weeks,
Like the old days,
all the way to,
just starting later.
all the way to September.
Just started.
Just starting later.
Yeah, we just got compressed.
The discharge will have a small track every weekend, starting in May, all the way to probably October.
We only have the water right now. I can only allocate what I've got.
Right.
Can I make motion?
Sure.
I'll move to approve as recommended by the administration on the allocations as allowed.
All right. Second. And George seconded that motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Same sign. Okay. Sounds like you got that one. All right. Al, are you through for a while?
No, that's, you know, when there's lots of work to do when there's water.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
we have the allocation, and this is not an irrigable land allocation, it's allocation for the contract. We have 2 more to do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we do.
So we'll do the easy one. We have the one for the non-taxable land. Maybe one's not the easy one to do, but maybe Kathy or somebody remembers, or Rose probably, what was our rate for the non-taxable land for last year?
We're non-taxable?
Yeah, we charge them a fee,
The exempt,
Tax
$45.
tax exempt, yeah,
$45.
non-tax, $45. So you guys have to make a
Yeah,
determination,
we have
that's
to
in lieu of
come up with
paying
that.
taxes, that's why it's a lumped, both your land assessment and the
Yeah.
delivery. Last year, we only had one, this is on a per acre foot basis,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Per acre foot.
And so, you know, they probably won't use their full, but you have to make a decision how much water to allocate them. Typically, we've done the same as the arable land, in this case, it'd be 2.5, and then you have to set the rate.
We have to set their rate now, and yet our water users, we don't set the rate till.
They're not they're
Because
tax
they're
exempt.
tax exempt.
Let's
So we
say,
have
I
to
use the
set-
right word, sorry, which is,
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
tax exempt,
Means
churches, schools and churches.
Schools and churches.
And last year was
county
45,
parks.
Yes, sir, $45.
45, okay.
45.
I would go up at least by the consumer price.
Well,
I'd go to
Yeah.
50.
50.
Right.
probably a 50.
I mean, that's not quite the consumer price.
No.
That's
No, but that's close.
That's real minimal, it's not that much.
You know, that's 11%. That's probably closer to the true price, 5 over 45.
Well, we didn't do it for the year past, and we've been held steady for a while.
Yeah,
I don't
we have
remember,
been
do
steady.
you remember when the last time we increased
I
it?
gotta bring it.
No, South Bend Road's got to come up with
But I mean, it's very few tax exempt places.
I
No,
think
it's
it's
just
600
churches,
acres.
Huh?
I think
schools.
there's 600 acres or something like that.
Yeah,
It's not a lot.
it's not a lot. And you're talking about 45.
Well, these are the ones that, all the stuff that they actually order it. It's parks, mainly been parks.
Yeah, city park.
But you're right, a lot of them don't, if you give them, since they pay per acre foot, it doesn't matter, but if you give them a 2.5, they may not use a 2.5.
It was $45, the
So
same.
45.
Yeah, so it says, I'd say we're not really
Was it
catching up
last
for
week?
inflation, but at
Last-
least for 1 year we are.
For 1 year ago.
It's up to you guys, I mean, it's,
All right.
like Robert made a suggestion of 90, is that what you said?
Yeah.
I want no comment on that one.
Suppose Robert didn't want it. All right, do I hear a motion for the non-taxable?
Tax exempt,
I
sorry.
mean, excuse me, tax exempt, yes.
They're gonna make a motion, they're gonna make a decision
Okay, is any,
motion at
Yes.
$50
okay,
per acre foot.
per acre foot.
do I hear a second? on
Second.
that? I hear a second by George.
And with an irrigable, with an allocation of 2.5.
Now,
Allocation.
So what is it? 50. Did you wanna know that last row?
You did say 50?
Yes, I have the
Yeah, he
numbers.
said 50.
What are we making a motion on?
We've been assessing $45 since
Tax
2013.
Oh,
The tax exempt rate, instead of 45.
So Robert's right.
Yes.
600. It's hate to see the tax exempt,
Yes.
to say, hey, we got an increase.
Well, it's not gonna be that much.
No.
And wait till we get the farm. I don't know if you don't think. Okay.
Motion was made, second. Motion made.
You made the motion,
I second
you seconded, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Just to give you reference, that's $850 per acre foot cheaper than city water.
Yes, it is, by a lot, by a ton.
So,
All right, all those,
They could
In
add some other
favor.
choice.
let's have the vote, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
it.
Aye. Anyone opposed, same sign. All right, that one passed. Now, any others, roads? That was just the two we always did every year, right?
Yeah, I'm doing it. That's it.
Tax exempt.
Okay, the last one
Yep,
is the 2001 contract, which is not, it has 3 different types of water in it. It has,
Yeah.
it has the city land that they own that's greater than 2,000 acres.
2,000 or 3.
Remember, there's 3,000, well, it's a combination of the 2 and 3,
Right.
everything's complicated in that contract.
Yeah.
But they don't have any, they actually dropped down in how much irrigable land they own, so the clause that's above 3,000, the 4th type of water, is not affected this year, so it's only 3 types. So that one is a pass-through, so you don't have to make a resolution on that water. They own about, I think it's about 900 acres, right? Rose,
The
about,
public service board?
yeah, that's above the 2,000.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So they'll just get the irrigable land allocation that you guys, the 2.5 that you said, so that one you don't have to do, because it's specified in the contract. The one that you have to do is the conservation water, and it's called 7B, but it's all rolled into one, so that combined with the irrigable land allocation, it's an amount not to exceed, 22,087 acre feet. Let me apologize, let me qualify that.
And Rose, see what we call this, what do we call this every year when we do this?
2001 contract.
The 2001 contract?
Yeah, we've got a
Over
standard
2,000
resolution.
acres.
Do you have it?
Anything over
Okay,
2,000
yeah.
acres.
All right, then we call it the 2001 contract.
Yeah. Here, I can read it to you if you want.
No, that's right, yeah, just trying to remember what it was called, 2001 contract to water is what we're coming up with right now.
Yeah, it's the amount available to Liberty City of El Paso under the 2001 contract for 2023 is set to 22,087 acre feet. And we just do that once. So that equates to a slightly higher ergo, it's not an ergo land application, but it's a negotiated number, and we have the negotiations with the city already.
Right, that's good.
And you guys have allowed that, you can actually go to a higher number than that, but because they won't have time to use the water, we've always
tried that.
negotiated that in these short years.
Yeah.
Next year, we anticipate a full allocation, so that'll be just follow the contract, and it'll be set by itself.
Okay.
This year, since it's negotiated, so that's the number we're recommending, just to let you know, because this is Mary's part of it, that's a total anticipated revenue of $4,267,979. And last year, that number was about $1 million, right, Mary? And some years, previous year, like 2013, our drought year, extreme drought year, that was zero, or just about zero. So,
And y'all have already talked to Baloo or somebody about this?
yes.
Okay. And
So the-
everybody's copacetic?
My understanding is Jay was participating with it.
Yeah.
Yes,
on it.
we see company.
They have had some staff change, so the person, my primary contact on this contract is no longer, he's still at Public El Paso Water, but he's not assigned to work this contract anymore. So, we've had several meetings, and so it's been, without having that person there. Angel Bustamante, you guys, he used to come to, George knows him, he comes to the meeting north all the time, and he was, over the years, he'd become an expert on this contract, so it was easy to negotiate. Here we had to sort of start over again, but I think John Blue was involved, and he's very knowledgeable about the contract. And so I think we're okay on board. The way the contract's worded is the sole discretion's at your municipal discretion.
Yeah, we have the power.
So we're telling you that at this point, we recommend that the negotiated part is because they won't be able to use all the water when we go to 4 acre feet, that we sort of stop at 3 acre feet in this contract.
And what do we charge them on a full allotment? Or do we do?
If we went to a full allotment under this one, it'd be about 6 million.
6 million.
In excess of 6 million. So that's, and if we dropped it down to the amount of water that they could use, it would be about
2001.
So, that's how, we split the difference.
You split the difference, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so, yeah,
Are-
state that, yeah.
The contract, it's not in the packet, but it's accessible, it's standard contract we've had every year.
From 2001.
And it's gonna be a boilerplate again, basically.
It's not a boilerplate, we're just executing the clauses that give you guys sole discretion, which we do every year,
Okay,
since
so
2001.
when I say boilerplate, I mean it's carrying over, we're not changing too much, just the date and to protect the innocent. So from the legal side, I would be more comfortable that there's somebody from legal that's already given it a first review and seen it. and
So
it's
Renee,
good.
we've been negotiating, and Maria was involved, we're scheduled for a renewal on that contract. Okay, so I've been doing the contract since, I wrote the contract.
Yeah, but let's just be
Well,
clear.
right,
Okay,
you're our engineer, and I get it,
Yeah.
but
Right.
from the recommendation part of it, I'm looking for
Well,
legal to tell me
Right.
that it's.
I
But
understand
so
that.
I
That's-
think you guys are talking past each other, let me just, because we're not amending any contract, we're not entering into any new contract. Under the 2001 contract, each year, there's certain provisions that need to be implemented under the terms of the contract.
Okay,
And that implementation depends on the water supply, right? So what we're doing, no contractual terms are changing. The contract, what Al's describing in terms of the board's discretion and action to be taken, is specified in the contract.
Yeah, that's,
So
with an
that's-
exception, she's right, we've been doing this for quite a few years, for at least since 2013, is that there's several MOUs that have set forth how we negotiate, that, that the board's agreed to. There's an amendment to the contract, which we're operating under, which doesn't kick in this year, and it has to do with some other thing. And this, what I'm trying to make very clear so you guys understand is that, that right now, we're at 2.5 acre-feet per acre, okay? What we've done is and this is in one of the MOUs, is because it is difficult for the city to function that way, not knowing what they're gonna get. And so if they don't know they're gonna get 4 acre-feet till July, it's hard for them to use 4 acre-feet. They can really only use 4 acre-feet if we start in March. So we realize that limitation or that difficulty that the contract caused, and we've been bringing to the board now, I don't know, Jay, since you started working here a long time ago, but it's been at least 10 years.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah.
Under that MOU, we've been bringing to the board a negotiated number and asked the board to consider that. The board, so that is a different process than's in the original contract that's spelled out in the MOU.
Right, but it's still, I consider what Al was describing as the amendments and the MOUs, just further implementation or interpretations of that base 2001 contract. So, I mean, we're having this conversation this year just because the water supply triggers this situation that Al describes,
Well,
right? That, just as a municipality for municipal supply, they can't make use of the 4 acre-feet if that goes up.
They can't treat the water fast.
They can't, yeah, right, so they have to kick in other sources of supply.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, so kind of the universe of the 2001 contract, in my mind, as a legal matter, includes the amendments and the MOUs. And so we're not entering into any kind of new written contract or MOU or anything like that with the city, because that MOU is necessitated because of the situation we have here that we haven't had for a long time, as we all know, right? And so that's what we're just trying to sort out, is how really this is an on-the-ground implementation of the 2001 contract with the city, as modified by these various MOUs and amendments.
And
that
we've been
making
doing
sense?
this for years. Yeah, no, we've been doing this for years, trying to help the city out
We
when they
have.
cannot take the water.
What
Yeah, I haven't
what we
changed it.
haven't
We
done
haven't
for
changed it,
years,
yeah.
because we haven't had the
Yeah,
water,
this year we got.
is
some.
this issue of the,
So our best guess is,
I
this
guess.
22,000 acre-feet is based on what? How about them getting 3 acre-feet maybe at the end?
Yeah, an equivalent, I mean, the allocation, like I say, it's a very complicated contract, it has these multiple types, but that's the equivalent allocation would be about 3. Now, the water that you're allocating, the expensive water that's in this contract is based on conservation projects. You guys did pass a resolution, when did we do it? Last year sometime, forgot, on the 2001 contract, expanding the capability of what we would consider conserved water.
that was actually earlier, I think that was earlier this year, right, wasn't it?
No,
Maybe it was last year,
It was
yeah,
last
my
year.
years are running together, we're only in April.
It might have been July or
Yeah,
something,
it
it
was,
was when we were
yeah,
trying to get
last
close to settlement.
Right.
And so, so we looked at all the waters available, some of that's, we can discuss. I mean,
Yeah, no, but
I think it's in the recitations, that memo, it goes into details.
It's just that there's so many MOUs, and so the contract's in 2001, such a long time, and things are so dynamic, especially with what's going on with the current cases that's with the
Yeah,
Supreme
no, they've
Court.
been-
And all that tied in, and at the end of the day, whatever we get ourselves into, I'm looking for your guidance on that, especially whatever we agree with the city. We wanna be nice guys, but at the end of the day, we don't wanna get stuck or be in trouble with over-delivering something that we can't, or we can't promise what we can't deliver.
Oh, no, we're only allocating what we have,
Okay.
even with the city.
You just said three acre feet, we're right now.
That's an equivalency, because of the complicated equations. So for the part that is actually on the acre, the land they own, it'd be under your irrigable land, 2.5, and it'll go up to probably 4 this year. This number that's 3 has to do with what an equivalency would have been under the contract to be for the non-irrigable land part of it. In other words, there isn't an acre number in a lot of this thing. It's just based on our estimate of how much we conserve from the American Canal extension. Help me out, stormwater,
Yeah.
canal line.
Right, we look at, under the 2001 contract, we look at, and the resolution the board passed last year, we look at what sources of supply are available to fulfill what we're saying would be available to the city. And so it's different than what we look at vis-a-vis the allocation for our irrigable land, okay? So it's again, as Al said, it's conserved water from the American Canal, it's stormwater runoff, it's water coming down the river, so it's a little apples and
It's
oranges.
non-project water.
Yeah, it's not, so it's not, right, so the 2.5 that the board just currently set as the initial allocation for irrigable land, again, it's not, is formulaically different from what we give to the city, which is comprised of, there's an appendix, it's probably this, that, calculations on how we figure out what that ends up being.
And we amended it with another memo this year, right, or last year, excuse me.
Yeah, so that's, yeah, so
Okay.
it is a little apples.
So
apples and
allocated
oranges.
amount, then there's a fluff factor of
Right, and-
X amount, and
right.
that's your number.
And it's why we do, okay, first what we did was irrigable land allocation. Now we do the 2001 contract again, because they're different. It's
Yeah.
obviously all based on water supply,
Mhm.
but in very different ways.
The most important part is this negotiating. That's why they're talking. That's what.
Negotiate.
Right.
Yeah, and I
The
think
reason is,
simplest-
years ago, we found out we could have charged them 4 acre foot
Right.
on a year when we got a lot of water.
Mhm.
There's no way they can take that. And so our customers were very peeled because they don't want to get a bill for 4 acre foot and they
They're not
can't
using
use,
it.
they can't use
Can't
but
treat
2.
Yeah.
So that, we didn't want to be
I got you.
idiots and hold that over their head. So that's why the negotiation is,
So we spoke to
that
them last
started
year.
years ago.
I mean, last week, we got together, I mean, we started March and we ended October, 4 acre feet. The plant has plenty of time to, bring it in and clean it and process and use the 4 acre feet in their entirety. We're not starting in March, so at that point, we have a discussion, how much can you utilize and to be fair, I mean, yeah, we'd like to charge 4 feet. They want to get charged for 2, I mean, but the reality of it is, we're not starting in March. 2 months later, it's prorated, if you will, I mean, to the end, how much can they use to where it's an equitable assessment for they can use and us to, allocate or charge, I guess.
Right, again,
It's.
Well, it's the given information that we have.
That's
Our
right.
engineers
Yeah,
established,
that's right.
based on the water flow, we got so much water,
Right.
period, and when we deliver it.
So say, even if we.
So basically, if I'm gonna just, the PSB is gonna ask for as much water as they can handle,
Exactly.
and we're gonna verify that we can deliver that, and we're good.
That's right.
I say it in a nutshell.
Say we were to go to 4 feet in middle of summer this year and charge them 4 feet, they can't treat and use the 4 feet, that's.
But
not
then
fair.
we can't charge them 4 feet because they didn't agree to the 4 feet.
Well, that's
No,
what
no,
we had to
no,
negotiate
no,
last week. Yeah, that's what we had to
We
negotiate.
actually stuck it on the-
So the contract,
Oh, sure.
the contract.
I didn't know we had that much leverage. Okay.
Yeah,
I-
you
it's-
got-
it's-
That's why we're not good.
It's a very complicated contract.
Very
So when Jay and Al are negotiating, we're not negotiating new terms for the contract. The
Yeah.
contract itself and the MOUs allow for this annual negotiation to literally have the on-the-ground implementation from year to year. Does that make sense?
Yes, and all I'm asking, and based on my question, is that get legal oversight before anything is signed, if I can make that clear,
We're not, there's nothing to be signed.
or whatever agreement.
So you're making an allocation that the same allocation that we negotiated for you for at least the last 10 years.
Right.
And
You
that's what we're
negotiated-
asking for, a motion to approve that amount that I gave you. Or don't make it, it's up to you guys.
I think we already did, we already approved the amount, so.
Yeah, we approved the amount, I don't think we.
No,
Yeah.
we haven't approved anything.
No, I was gonna say, we have not made a motion,
Yeah.
we haven't actually approved the amount, we've talked about it. 22,000.
Yeah, we don't have to make it, I mean, we're just trying to give the city enough notice so they, well, first of all, Mary wants the invoice, right?
Well, is it too much to ask to get legal to give a blessing? Even though you don't have to, like what I'm hearing here?
I think legal's been heavily involved in 2001 contract, litigation, and everything else. What we're doing is just what we've always done every year. So if this is something new, I don't have a problem with it. We can bring it back to you next month after we make the allocation to legal first, and legal reviews the allocation. So the first time in history.
I feel more comfortable.
You want legal to review all our allocations?
Well, those major, I mean, we do it once a year, it can't hurt to do it once a year.
I think he's talking about the one where it's an implementation of the
Yeah.
contract.
Yeah,
There's a ball in motion, things happen, and I don't wanna be caught in a lawsuit because,
You're not gonna be caught on a lawsuit.
well, but I know that because I have